All right, and welcome into the Betting Pros College Football Show. The postseason rolls on as Christmas week is also officially upon us. Of course, we'll take a first look at the College Football Playoff Quarterfinal early lines. We'll also make our official picks and predictions for the next wave of bowl games coming at you. I'm your host, Seth Woolcock, coming off a 2-2 week in the CFB betting streets, and I'm back with a man who is always holly and jolly, especially when it's a winning week. He's Scott Bogman. Boggs, I know we always have a loaded program. I always say it at the top of every single show. However, this week, it is certainly the case. We are breaking down 4 playoff games and 13 bowl games, my friend.
We are going to lightning round the bowl games because the bowl games are weird. There's some transfers that have happened, or opt-outs and transfers and injuries and blah, blah, blah. So there's a lot going on there. So we're going to lightning round it. We're going to make that quick. So hopefully this is still under an hour and all of that. So, but we do have a lot to talk about. So let's step on the gas here and talk about OU and A&M getting bounced, Seth. What a great weekend. 4-1 on my picks. Steelers win. A&M and OU get bounced. It's all coming up Bogman, baby. I'm afraid to go into the new year. I want to stay right here in 2025. This has been great.
It's a Christmas miracle, and yeah, hopefully we can stick under the 60-minute range. I know our editors and producers would certainly appreciate that, and if we do go over, though, like, hey, it's Christmas week and people will be traveling, maybe you're jumping on an airplane, you can download the audio version, or if you're right here on YouTube and, you know, throw it on in the car, just listen to the audio, or maybe the significant other is driving as well. So lots of time to digest everything that we saw. We have a ton of games to get to, and like Bog said, we're going to go a little more rapid fire. Opt-outs are huge this week. We will give you kind of the usual breakdowns and the picks, though, still. And we will be looking at last week. Then we'll jump into the CFP early lines, the bowl game picks, and then round it out with our best bets. As always, shout out to everyone who is making time for us during the busy holiday season, either on the Betting Pros YouTube channel or the audio feed. Thank you so much for that. The easiest free way to support us is to give this video a thumbs up. And if you enjoy this type of content, make sure you're also subscribing to the channel if you're new. And if you want a chance to win this A.J. Brown signed Philadelphia Eagles helmet for free, courtesy our friends over at pristineauction.com. All you need to do is head to bettingpros.com/contest, complete the form, and either A, go ahead and download the free Betting Pros app today, B, leave a review for the Betting Pros podcast, tell us what you do and don't like about the show, and also C, you can subscribe to our social media channels. We are at Betting Pros on X and TikTok, and at Betting Pros NFL on the Instagram. The more actions you complete, the more entries you're going to receive, and we will announce a winner right here on the show. So make sure you ring the bell so you can be alerted when we have new shows up and claim your prize if you are that lucky winner. And Boggs, let's go ahead and look back at the College Football Playoff Round 1 and the bowl games since we last spoke. In the bowl side of things, we had Old Dominion beat South Florida 24-10 in the Cure Bowl. Cashed my under pretty well there.
That was awesome. Yeah, but no Byron Brown, so I got off that one pretty quick. But yeah, that was a great call by you.
Well, not such a great call by me. Delaware, they outlast Louisiana 20-13 in the 68 Ventures Bowl. I was on the over on that one, not a chance. Arkansas State also took down Missouri State 34-24 in the Xbox Bowl. Western Michigan, they blew out Kansas State 41-6 in the Myrtle Beach Bowl. NC State, they dog-walked Memphis 31-7 in the Gasparilla Bowls. Boggs, any betting risers and fallers just from the bowl games, the teams who their season is now effectively over?
I was really surprised that Kennesaw State got their doors blown off. Like that was just
baby.
A surprising performance by Western Michigan. Although we did like Western Michigan's defense, I just didn't think they'd be able to stop Kent State, and it was the other way around. They just ran right down Kennesaw State's throat. So that was a difficult game. But Memphis, I mean, that was my pick out of this group, really was NC State, because Memphis just hadn't looked the same since losing to Tulane. So surprising results, no shock there in bowl season, but you give these teams a couple extra days to prepare. You're not 100% sure what's going on with the roster, so not a surprise on some of these. But NC State and Memphis was really the one that I was leaning the heaviest on for NC State here.
And in the college football playoffs, Bogman, we had number 9 Alabama. They came back 17-0. We are live for the first half of that game. They beat Oklahoma soundly 34-24. What a game it was there in Norman. And then on Saturday, number 10 Miami, they scored late to surge past number 7 Texas A&M 10-3. Number 6, Ole Miss, they blow the doors off Tulane 41-10. And number 5, Oregon, they win, but they left the back door open against number 12, JMU, to cover 51-34. Betting risers and fallers for the CFP Bogs.
Yeah, I mean, the only one I missed was the cover for Oregon, because JMU did take the back door. But weird weather game between A&M and Miami, right? Passes were off. Kicks were off. Did you see that kid miss the 2 kicks in the morning? Oh, my gosh. That was brutal, right? Really wish it would have hit for him. But, the win made it a weird one. Washington State just scored late. Potato ball him on the under there.
Oh, no.
But that was a really weird game to see. I thought for sure Cristobal was going to choke that away. But they ended up winning. Just a bad pick from Marcel Reed, and we ended up being right there. We were talking about how Texas kind of exposed them and the defensive line was playing better. The wind obviously helped both defenses here. Very, very low-scoring game. Obviously it was the opening quarter for John Mateer, and OU looked great.
Yeah.
And then Bama just surged from there. Going to be a lot taller task to do this against Indiana this week. So we'll see about that. And then the other 2 games did kind of play out as we thought. I thought Oregon was going to stomp JMU. They did, but they clearly did not care at the end and kind of let JMU come back. So that was not my favorite result, but it was what we expected. And then Ole Miss was just way too much for Tulane, and we knew that coming in, and that was obvious from the jump. Big chunk plays for Ole Miss to start. Tulane just could do nothing on offense. I didn't even get Retzlaff's rushing yards prop, which he hit against Ole Miss last time too, and it hit a bunch of times this year.
Well, they were kind of playing to prevent that, right? I thought they were really coming out Ole Miss and saying, hey, we're going to drop a couple guys, we're going to spy the quarterback, and we're going to make you beat us through the air. And, I think I saw a stat that Tulane was in Ole Miss territory on 9 of 12 drives, Bogman, but they only got into the red zone 1 time, right? Because it was kind of a bend, don't break type of thing. When the field shrunk up, that's when Ole Miss kind of, started throwing the dogs at them a little bit. And they were counting on Retzlaff. Hey, you're going to make us beat you with your arm. And he did not. Did have a couple nice throws there, though, that I was pretty impressed with.
He's a good quarterback. I think if you put a little more talent around him, he would be solid. But he's not like an NFL caliber.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
And Chambliss is, so... Chambliss looked great. That offense was humming from the jump. Charlie Weiss Jr., your boy, calling those plays. I also like Golding. This was a great reminder to the whole country that Weiss calls the plays, not Lane Kiffin, like he has all year. So throwing a little extra shade on Lane as well. I enjoyed. So, Jake Paul got knocked out. What a great weekend this was. It was an outstanding weekend, man.
What was your final takeaway? How do you feel? We'll talk about the Miami game coming up this week, but for me, I thought they kind of looked at what we thought they were going to look like. Bain and Mesidor really took over that game. It felt like Marcel Reed kind of came out and just felt a bit jittery, felt a bit unsettled from the start, which was pretty surprising in his stadium. But Carson Beck also, I don't know if it was just the win, but he looked inaccurate. And I just thought it was a little too cute for Miami in that first half, right? I love Malachi Toney. I said I would bet all the player props on him if I could. I probably should have. I should have found a state where I could get invested there, because it felt like in the first half, every single play this guy's in motion. He's in the backfield. He's playing quarterback. He's doing all this different stuff. And it then finally felt like at the end, okay, let's just run it down their throat and see if they can stop us. And they couldn't.
I think that was the inaccuracies of Carson Beck as well in the wind, right? It was crazy windy at College Station. So I think that was more of the issue was the weather. But, you're absolutely right. It was weird. They obviously should have been running Mark Fletcher for the entire first half, that huge second half that he had. And this was the problem from the jump for A&M, right? Remember, UTSA ran down their throat, even though they did, they couldn't stop A&M. But UTSA ran on them. I feel like Utah State might have, somebody else.
Jeremiah Love popped off a couple big runs against him too.
Yeah. So the run defense was difficult. That should have been utilized more. In the first half. It wasn't, to their detriment, and it made it a much closer game than it needed to be, because Miami should have probably walked away with that game. So, but good on them for holding, and I I'm really glad to see A&M out. So just
I
once
know you
again,
are. All
it's
coming
great.
up Bogman here, baby. So I appreciate that. Let's go ahead and get into the College Football Playoff Quarterfinal early picks and line movement predictions. And it starts with the number 10 Miami Hurricanes. They're going to be battling the number 2 Ohio State Buckeyes in the Cotton Bowl on New Year's Eve at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Books right now at a consensus, they are favoring Ohio State by 9.5 points. Miami, they are off that 10-3 win against A&M at A&M. Carson Beck, as we mentioned, kind of looked a little bit shaky at times, but they leaned on Fletcher down the stretch, and it really came through for him. Ohio State, meanwhile, last time out, they lost the Big Ten championship game to Indiana 13-10, but they were previously undefeated, even beating Michigan 27-9 on the road in the game. Boggs, what are your initial thoughts on this one, and where do you think this line goes, if anywhere?
Yeah, tickets and cash are split right now. Cash on Ohio State, tickets on Miami. So I'm not really sure we're going to get a ton of movement. I think the movement that you would want would be for this to drop to close to a touchdown or under a touchdown in Ohio State's favor. It's just not going to get there. I think it's too much. It's too far away right now to get there. But I mean, I would lean regardless. If it's under 10 still, it's Ohio State here, right? I really like what Miami's defense did against A&M, and that defensive line is a problem. So it's not going to be Julian Sands' best game. It's just not. No. He's going to be harassed. Their O-line has been really good, but there hasn't been an O-line that this Bain and Mesidor combo hasn't tortured this year. So this is going to be a tough one, but I think really the massive difference in this game is going to be Carson Beck versus the Ohio State defense, right? We know that Carson Beck has made mistakes in the past. He can get a little happy feet or just make questionable decisions. I think he has to be perfect in this game for them to be in it, and I just don't expect him to be perfect. So I think it's just too much of an ask for Miami. I think whatever team was coming in was facing an angry Ohio State team that lost the Big Ten title game. I would not want to be the first team to play Ohio State after that game. So good luck, Miami. I think the under is in play here. It's a low total here, 41.5. So I'd like to see that hopefully tick up a little bit this week because tickets and cash are on the over. So let's get that out to at least over 42.5. And I think the under is going to be my favorite play here because I think Miami can play strong defense, but I just don't expect Carson Beck to have a good day against this Buckeyes defense. So I'll lean Ohio State and the under, but let's wait and see which way these lines go.
Yeah, I would also like to wait and take Ohio State at the lowest number I can because I think the difference to me in this game, Boggs, is maybe it's that Ohio State secondary, right? Because I think they're really going to challenge Carson Beck and say, hey, you need to beat us. And if you're not, we're not going to let you run it with Fletcher. We're going to put an extra guy down in the box. And, oh, yeah, that guy might be Caleb Downs, right? So, I mean, if I could bet a Carson Beck over reception or interception prop, I would love to. I think he definitely throws one in here. And, outside of Tony, I just don't know if C.J. Daniels and Keelan Marion are good enough to beat this Ohio State secondary. That's where I think the real difference is. It's more the Ohio State defense. I'm with you. I think Julian Sane will be under duress in this game a little more than he's used to. Maybe he can throw a timely pick or two. He's been known to do that in some big spots, going back to the Michigan game, even at the Penn State game earlier this season. That's kind of been his MO. But at the same time, he settles in quite nicely, and I think he will eventually be able to maybe not tee off against this Miami defense, but certainly get Ohio State out to a lead. So I think we're both kind of leaning Ohio State's direction. We want to see where this one goes.
It just feels like this is going to be a Carson Beck has to be perfect, and then they have to take advantage of any mistake that is made by this Ohio State defense. So it just seems like the outs are harder for Miami, way, way harder for Miami in this game than they were going on the road to A&M here.
Similar to how we felt about Oklahoma last week, right? John Matier, Superman performance. That's what we're going to probably need to see from Carson Beck. I don't know if he can do it, but that's just me. Boggs, let's go ahead. Let's move forward to New Year's Day, where it's going to start out with an absolute banger. The number 5 Oregon Ducks against the number 4 Texas Tech Red Raiders in the Orange Bowl at noon. Most books right now, they have the Ducks by 1.5 points, but 2-point tickets are now becoming available. Oregon, they did beat JMU last week. Again, failed to cover that spread, left the back door open, 51-34. They got their 12th win of the season. Texas Tech, meanwhile, they roll into town after a 12-1 season, winning the Big 12 championship game 34-7 against BYU. Wasn't really close outside of the first half of that one. Boggs, this is one that opened with the Ducks actually catching points. Now they are favored by 1.5. So do we think it continues to move towards them?
I think it does. You just said that it's 1.5, and you can get 2 points at some books. This was a pick yesterday in some books.
Yeah.
So it's been 1.5 at most places, but some places had it as a pick. Now it's 1.5 everywhere, and it's 2 in some places. I think this is going to continue to grow in Oregon's favor because I think people are on the Ducks after that big time, offensive performance that they had against James Madison. I'm waiting. Give me 3.5. If we get to 3.5 here, I am putting a decent amount of money on Texas Tech. Now, right now I see cash and tickets are slightly in favor of Tech, so I thought this was going to get back to like a 0.5 point or a pick. But if you're saying there's already 2s available, maybe we're going to lean the other way. So, but I'm going to be on Texas Tech here. The issues that we've seen for Oregon this season, right? Lost to Indiana. Great defensive performance by Indiana. Tough. They had to go to overtime with your Penn State defense that has played very good this whole year. Damn it. I just lost my over in this game in the last minute. My under, excuse me. And then Iowa. They should have lost to Iowa, and they were held. So strong defenses are what has slowed down this Ducks offense this year. And the best defense in the country might be in Lubbock with the Red Raiders here. So it's really difficult for me to go against Texas Tech with this great defensive line that has been killing it. Bailey and Height and linebacker Jacob Rodriguez should have been in New York as a Heisman finalist, in my opinion.
Agreed.
So the question is is their offense good enough to score on Oregon's defense, right? I think it is with Baron Morton because the only game that they lost was against Arizona State. So
with Will Hammond,
I think they're going to be able to move the ball. I think they're going to be able to stop Oregon, which has been this game is going to be close. I do think this comes down to a field goal, but if you're asking me who I'm taking here, give me the team that's rested and ready to go. And they never made plans to face James Madison. They've had extra weeks to prepare for Oregon here. So give me Joe McGuire and his Red Raiders. They've been playing great this year. I'm gonna take my points if I can. I already have a bet on this, and I'm gonna wait and probably double, triple down if I can. If this does get out to over a field goal here.
Yeah, I don't hate the under in this game, or maybe even the Oregon team total under, because like you said, Joey M and the boys have had multiple weeks to prepare for this team, and really I don't want to discount what Dante Moore's done because he's been fine this season. But it's really that running game, right? Especially in these big games that has really been hard to handle. And I think with Texas Tech having that number 1 ranked rushing defense in the entire country, they can slow them down quite a bit. So I do like Tech, I think, to win this game as well as where I'm currently leaning. Want to dig into it a little bit more, see what they've done in some of their non-conference schedule games as well. But I think as a whole, I just don't think Oregon puts up as many points because they traditionally haven't, as you kind of mentioned, in some of these big spots against some other good defenses. And before we keep moving, if you want to know where I bet on sports during the holiday season, it's Hard Rock Bet, not just because it's the presenting sponsor of our show, but because they make it super simple to bet both pregame and live with just a few simple taps. I open up the app, I find a bet I like, and then bam, my bet's placed. I'm locked in, just in time for me to get back to the Christmas presents wrapping and watch my favorite holiday movies. Sign up today and bet $5 on any game, and if it wins, you not only score $150 in bonus bets, but you're also going to get your winnings back as well. So a winning bet plus an extra $150 to bet with, and that's what I call holiday magic, folks. Plus Hard Rock Bet, they're filling your stockings with new promos every single day. So whenever you're listening, just fire up the app and check what they've got going on. Download the Hard Rock Bet app today and make your first deposit. It should be an absolutely beautiful afternoon in Pasadena, California for the Rose Bowl, where the number 9 Alabama Crimson Tide, they hope to knock off the number 1 Indiana Hoosiers. This is a game that has so much significant historical impact on our sport. I can't wait to watch it. Cignetti's his squad currently laying 6.5 and 7 points against Bama in some spots. We were live for that Bama game. They came back down 17-0. They ran away from Oklahoma. IU, they remain the only unbeaten team in the nation after knocking off Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game. Of course, their quarterback Fernando Mendoza also named the Heisman Trophy winner since we last spoke as well, Boggs. So this is a spot where I think if you want the Hoosiers, I think we're going to have to probably get them now at 6.5. What do you think, Boggs, with that key number being available?
Yeah, look, anything under a touchdown, take Indiana. And like you said, it's available now. Tickets in cash are on Bama. Doesn't mean that this line is going to come down. Like you said, I just don't know if we get it to move much more. Yeah. Right. I think that's going to be the thing here. But I'm on the Hoosiers for anything under a touchdown. Indiana is everything that Alabama is not this season. They're balanced on offense. They're confident in their quarterback and consistent on defense. If Mendoza doesn't get pressured, he'll pick Bama's secondary apart, right? Now, in defense of Bama, they did have 7 sacks on Mateer, right? But a lot of that was him looking for big plays downfield, and they were losing after that massive comeback. So we know Mateer and Mendoza are in a different category for sure. So the Indiana O-line has been strong, but Mendoza still has taken 18 sacks this year. But the issue for Alabama here is that Mendoza takes a sack when it's the smart thing to do, right? He doesn't turn the ball over. 6 interceptions all year. So I don't know that they're going to have as difficult a time at getting after Mendoza as some people will think, right? The pass rush hasn't been good this year for Bama, but it has ticked up recently. So I do think that they may get to him, but Mendoza makes the right decision. That's why he won the Heisman. So he's just been incredibly consistent, as has the defense. Obviously, no one has really slowed down Ohio State until Indiana did either. So Bama can win this. They have the talent, and Ty Simpson is good enough to, if he has a flawless game, Bama can win this game, right? It's not an impossibility, and I think a lot of people are expecting it now that Bama snuck into the playoffs, had the comeback win against Oklahoma. There were a lot of freezing cold takes revealed after that first quarter for Oklahoma this weekend, right? So I'm not going to sit here and count Alabama all the way out. I just think it takes their best performance of the year to beat Indiana, and I don't think they're going to have it. So I'm going to go with the Hoosiers here. This one's tougher. Like, they didn't prepare for Alabama for 2 weeks, right? They probably had contingencies for both teams and practice against things for both teams. But now that it's Bama, it's a simpler game for Indiana, and Cignetti has just been so good this year. I expect him to have another great game plan going into this one.
Look, to me, I think that Ty Simpson has to be the hero again, right? I think it's going to come down to this kid. And I just don't think Alabama can be long for a college football championship run without a run game. You have to have a run game, and they don't have one, man. Like, that was where I really misstepped on that under I was on last week in that Alabama and Oklahoma game. Was neither of those teams run the ball. Neither of them can chew any clock, right? And Indiana, they're a team right now. They're 7th in time possession, averaging over 33 minutes of ball control per game. They are also so good at converting on third down, the highest rate in the entire country. So I just don't trust Bama to be able to run the clock out, and if they get a lead, to sit on it, right? Because we've seen this Indiana team roar back against Penn State. And can you name a quarterback that's lit them up this season? I really can't. I generally cannot name one quarterback who has had an above average to elite game against them, and that's what it's going to take to win this.
Jacobs from Old Dominion.
Okay.
Long-ass 75-yard touchdowns that screwed my team total for Indiana in that game. Anyway.
Hey, Old Dominion's feisty. They're feisty, my friend. Give ODU a little credit. But outside of that was week 1, right? Like, outside of that week 1 game, they've really, kind of barreled down the hatches. So I think they're going to do that in this one as well. I probably will be on that 6.5. I'm going to let it ride a couple days longer, I think. But by the next time we talk, Boggs, I'll definitely probably be on that. And it doesn't get any sweeter for this one in the Sugar Bowl on New Year's night, where we get a rematch of one of the best games of the season. Number 6 Ole Miss Rebels. They will be taking on the number 3 Georgia Bulldogs in prime time. The Dogs are favored by 6.5 to 7 points over the Rebs in this one. This comes after the Rebels. They ran away from Tulane last week, but they also did get their quarterback Trinidad Chambliss banged up. He did come back into the game. And their running back Kawan Lacey, he was nicked up in the process as well. He left the game once. He came back. He left the game a second time. I don't know if he came back at the end of that. Probably didn't. And I think that was largely because of the score as well. So I guess we'll have to get a status update on him. But UGA, they now have 9 straight wins, including that 28-7 win over Alabama in the SEC championship game. And we've seen no line movement for this number since opening, Bog. So do you think we still get it around that 6.5 by the time this thing kicks off?
I think so. This one probably concerns me the most, and as to, what I think is going to happen, I still am going to be on the Georgia side here. We see this closer as a pick. Obviously, that's not taking into account Lane Kiffin being gone and, the potential injury to Lacey, right? So, like, if Lacey is out, I think we'll see this balloon.
I would take Georgia, honestly, if Lacey's out, probably up to 9.5.
Right, exactly. So we could see this move on that, but if he's going to play, I think we're going to stick to this 6.5 to 7. And if that's going to be the spread, I'm going to be on Georgia again here. Stockton in the running game shredded the Ole Miss defense last time these teams played. 43 points, 510 yards, and 37-39 to 22-21 in time of possession. So Ole Miss is loving playing behind Golding, and the offense plays anywhere. But UGA has adjusted. In high-scoring games, they score points, right? This game was a shootout before, 43-45, 44-41 against Tennessee, and then they've gotten in the dirt and played some scraps against Auburn, Florida, and Georgia Tech as well. So I just think Kirby is the best coach in the country. Again, they knew they were going to have 2 extra weeks to prepare for this Ole Miss team. Ole Miss is, coming off a great win, but obviously there's a lot going on behind the scenes there. So there's just too many distractions. Georgia is on a nice run here. Give me the Bulldogs.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's one, I hate to fade Chambliss with how good he's playing, but if there's no Lacey, I definitely will. And it just feels like it would be
just like Lacey at less than 100%. If they come out and say, hey, he's good, this was a non-issue, the game was out of reach, that's why we benched him, okay. But if it's like he's not going to practice, but he's probably going to play, he's at 75%, no way, man. He is the engine. Like, Chambliss is great, but everything works off of Lacey.
And what a story would that be, though, for Ole Miss to win this? Like it would be just like it would be a Cinderella type of run, right? Without Lane Kiffin, it would be insane. But I'm with you. I think the odds of them doing that are probably more than like the implied odds of them winning this game, I think, are way less than what their money line number would suggest, right? So I think I am with you on the dogs. I don't love the number 6.5 just because Georgia seems to whether it's like a 6 or, they win by a field goal, they always seem to burn me with a number. So maybe I'll try to wrap in their money line to a parlay or something like that. But this team, man, they always do it to me. I mean, you were with me, what was that, the Florida game earlier this season where they took the knee? Like, it's that.
Oh, my God. I was disgusted. You were like, I was so mad when that happened. I was at my buddy's house watching it, and I know I think I texted you, and you were out. But I sent you the video.
That was the week I didn't have ESPN because of YouTube TV, so I couldn't even watch that game. So I'm following along on the game, like the box score on ESPN. I'm like, what is going on here?
Gross.
And so it makes it even worse. But
gross.
Better times are ahead, my friend, and they're going to start this weekend in the bowl games where we're going to give you our official picks and predictions for, starting in the Hawaii Bowl between the 7-5 California Golden Bears. They are taking on the 8-4 Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. This is kicking off on Christmas Eve, 8 p.m. Eastern Time from Honolulu. No better way to soak in your Christmas holiday. Maybe on one screen you got Christmas Story going, maybe in the other one you have the Hawaii Bowl happening. odds right now, we do have Hawaii favored by a point. Cal, they did fire their head coach, Justin Woolcock, at the season end. Their offensive coordinator, Nick Rovolich, he will be in command of this one until Oregon defensive coordinator Tash Lupoli takes over afterwards. Their quarterback, JKS, he is staying at Cal. He should be expected to play in this one. However, they will be without their top cornerback, their top linebacker, tight end, wide receiver 3, and wide receiver 4 in this one. Hawaii, they have hitting the portal their top offensive playmaker, wide receiver Jackson Harris. He had nearly 1,000 yards, 12 touchdowns through the air this year. And also they could be without their starting cornerback and linebacker who are banged up. BP projections right now, we have Cal favored by a couple points, but it does look like it's like right under a point, right? So it's right almost at a pick'em is where we have it, Bog. So do you have a play in this one out there on the island?
Look, this is a home game for Hawaii, right? So I think that needs to be taken into account here. But I still think Cal is such a better team. And they're missing some pieces on offense, but they played much better on defense. So I like Cal in this game. Hawaii's defense played great this year. And they got after the quarterback as well, 33rd in the country in sacks, also graded 22nd in pass rush on PFF. So I like the under in this game. The total is 52.5. I like to go under that, but I just think Cal is such a better team than Hawaii. So it is a home game for Hawaii, which makes it way closer than it probably should be, which is probably why they're laying points. But I'm on Cal and the under here.
Okay, yeah, I'm also leaning towards that under. I think I am going to be on Hawaii, though, here, actually, Boggs. And a big thing of this is, like, common opponent, right? Hawaii, they beat Stanford, if you remember that game way back when. It was an early season game. Cal lost to Stanford when I was on Stanford. Andrew Luck was screaming on the sidelines.
It's a rivalry game between those two teams.
I know, but still, and also the trends back me up here too. Boggs, Hawaii 6-0 ATS as a home team, 6-0 on equal rest, 6-2 in their conference. Obviously, this isn't a conference game, but Cal, they're 3-3 ATS on the road, 3-5 or 0-2, excuse me, with a rest disadvantage. So I don't know. I just kind of I feel like Hawaii might be up on this one, but this is going to be a low unit play for me. This isn't one I'm getting overly invested with. But, hey, there's nothing wrong with a little eggnog on Christmas Eve and watching a little Hawaii Bowl. Make
Absolutely.
it fun. Make it fun, baby. Let's go ahead and get to the Sports Bowl between the 7-5 Central Michigan Chippewas and the 6-6 Northwestern Wildcat. This gets underway Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time from Ford Field. Always busy up there in the Motor City at Ford Field. CMU, they have their best player, Michael Heldman. This is a guy who ranks 10th in the nation in sacks. He is opting out of this game. Northwestern, their opt-outs include their top defensive end and left tackle. Also banged up are their RB1, their RB2, their starting slot wide receiver, and their outside cornerback to the BP projections. We have Northwestern by a sounding 11.5 points. Is that where you're heading, Boggs, in this Big Ten versus MAC showdown?
I like the under. Again, 43.5. We've got it at closer to 40. So another under here. These defenses are way ahead of the offensive, just looking statistically. Northwestern is very thin in the running back room right now, as you mentioned. CMU's offense is much better with their backup quarterback, Angel Flores, but I'm not convinced that that is going to be enough for them to step up against Northwestern here. Northwestern, very wishy-washy in terms of performance as well, but I think with a little extra time to prepare for this game, I think they will outmatch CMU. So roster strength here is way in favor of Northwestern as well. 57 to 108th pace for these teams, 134th for Central Michigan, and 130th for Northwestern. So low scoring and boring, but it's not boring if we get that under.
Okay. Yeah, just be aware. Preston Stone, this guy's got a little bit of a cannon, and Griffin Wild out there. That guy torched Penn State. I've seen him make trouble for USC as well in the past. So this guy will not go home sleeping. They will be feisty, but I do think probably the under is the right move as long as those guys don't explode for one. Let's go to the Rate Bowl between the 9-3 New Mexico Lobos. They are taking on the 7-5 Minnesota Golden Gophers. This is kicking off from the Diamondbacks Chase Field, Boggs, place you're very, very, very familiar with, on Friday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And we have New Mexico. They could have their defensive end Kayshawn James newbie opting out, but that's really it for them. Minnesota, their opt-outs for this one are going to include their leading wide receiver, Lameke Brockington. He is declared for the NFL draft. Their running back, Darius Taylor, also opting out, and their sack leader, Anthony Smith, and their top defensive tackle as well will also be on the sideline. So BP projections right now, we are showing some value on the Lobos, listing them at 1.5 points. Bugs, I've said it for a while. I actually thought New Mexico was, if not the best team in the Mountain West, like at least top 2 or 3. I think they kind of got robbed getting out of that championship game. That said, though, like, I'm not super high on Minnesota, but this is a defense that is pretty scary. It's been pretty scary all year.
PJ Fleck is 6-0 in bowl games as well. I mean, you want to talk about a ball of energy and a guy that gets his boys up to play.
Might be up for a Michigan
PJ
job
Fleck.
pretty soon.
Yeah, he easily could be. This would be a nice,
feather in the cap.
Feather in the cap on the resume to show that I had my guys prepared and we blew the doors off of New Mexico here. So I'm going to roll on that side. I'm going to lay the points and take Minnesota by 1.5 here. I think this is just
2.5 now. 2.5 now. Good.
2.5. That's fine. Anything under a field goal is fine for me. So yeah, just give me Minnesota in this game. That defense is strong. PJ Fleck gets his guys up to play in these bowl games, even the ones that don't really matter. Even without your top wide receiver and maybe your top 2 running backs here, I think this is going to be a low-scoring scrap. Give me Minnesota in it. This is the game where I sat at Chase Field and watched 9 interceptions happen in one game, by the way. It was a 10-7 overtime game between Baylor and Cal.
Do you remember the quarterbacks playing?
Oh, man, I don't.
Probably not.
I just remember.
Yeah.
Well, 6 of them played, dude. 9 interceptions. So
wow.
I remember one. It was a Cal guy, or it was Baylor. Baylor was scrambling to the right, and I'm like, you're not going to throw that across your body. You're not going to do that. It was triple coverage over here on this guy, and he cocks back and slings it. Well,
that's what you get sometimes in bowl games, right? There's nothing to lose, and you also get players who are a little more inexperienced in some big spots. So
this was before the portal too. So
yeah.
These guys have been there the whole year and practicing and everything. It's just bad QB performance.
Your Friday nightcap will be when the First Responder Bowl kicks off between the 7-5 FIU Panthers and the 6-6 UTSA Roadrunners. This will go live from SMU Stadium at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. FIU, they will be missing 4 of their top 5 secondary members, plus their starting right tackle, and it's unknown whether it'll be quarterback Joe Pazensky or Keon Jenkins under center, as both of them were banged up late in the season. UTSA, they have an estimated 10 to 20 players out between the portal, opt-outs, and injuries. BP projections right now, we have UTSA by over 9 points, but Boggs, this is just too much of a messy one for me to want to get invested with all the changes. I can't handicap this one. I've also gotten FIU and UTSA wrong twice this season betting against them. So do you have a lean or a bet?
I don't. This is one of the games where I don't think you can lots of opt-outs, lots of injuries, lots of portal players. Stay away from the whole thing. If gun to my head, I'd lean towards UTSA because they're playing in Texas, right? Yeah. So maybe you have more of your fans. Florida has to travel a little bit more, but I don't want any part of this one.
We also have the Military Bowl kicking off in Annapolis, Maryland, welcoming the 8-4 Pittsburgh Panthers against the East Carolina Pirates, who are 8-4 this season. This one's on Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Pitt opt-outs include their running back Desmond Reed and 2 of their top 3 linebackers and their right tackle Ryan Beer. Keep in mind, Reed didn't play a lot of the season, though, so not a huge impact player as he had been in the past. East Carolina, their opt-outs include their quarterback Caton Hauser and their top 2 outside wide receivers, Anthony Smith and Yannick Smith, and their tight end too. Right now, BP projections, Boggs, looks like we're showing a little bit of value on Pitt. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's a little bit of value on. Well, we're favoring Pitt, but it's not by this 10 points that they're laying because we're not taking into account the massive amount of transfers for ECU. Did you run through them?
Yes, I did.
ECU transfers? Yeah, dude. These transfers, and plus they're losing both their OC and DC after this game. This is just too much for me. Like you mentioned, Desmond Reed missed a big chunk of the year. 1 offensive lineman, a couple players on defense. It's the starting quarterback. It's the 2 wide receivers. It's both these coordinators are gone. So, like, I just don't see how ECU stays in this game. I think obviously roster strength favors the ACC team way more. Heinzel's been good. I'm going to just take Pitt and lay these points.
Yep, I'm with you. Heinzel has been really good. He's got guys like Kenny Johnson out there at receiver who can still make plays for him. And Pitt, they smacked Central Michigan, the only G5 team they played this season, 45-17. It was a close in the first half, but they ran away in the second half, and that was before they made the switch at quarterback as well. East Carolina, meanwhile, they lost to NC State back in week 1. That is a rivalry game, but it was 24-17, and they have lost so much, like you said. And I think now it is like not even a question. Pitt's a better team than NC State was. So for me, it's H2P, hail to Pitt, as my friends down there in the Berg say. So that is one of my favorite bets of the week. And Boggs, what I thought could maybe honestly be a potential national championship game with the 6-6 Penn State Nittany Lions. They are facing the 7-5 Clemson Tigers in the Pinstripe Bowl. This one kicks off from Yankee Stadium at noon on Saturday. PSU, I mean, they've lost their offensive coordinator, their co-offensive coordinator, their offensive line coach, their DC. Opt-outs, just a couple notable names for you that have confirmed opt-outed. Nick Singleton, Zane Durant, Zaki Wheatley, and, of course, the left guard, Vega Lone. And then we also have like all the other potential opt-outs: Denai Dennis Sutton, Katron Allen, AJ Harris, Trevor Pena, Amari Campbell, the starting left tackle, the starting right tackle. So a ton of missing pieces here for Penn State. Clemson, they for sure will have their safety, Khalil Barnes, who is hitting the portal. He's saying, I'm getting out of here. And also they have opting out for the NFL draft Peter Woods, TJ Parker, Vion Terrell, Antonio Williams, and their defensive tackle, DeMonte Capehart. So a lot of their best players are not going to be available for this one. This comes after already losing a ton of players like Bryant Westco Jr. down the stretch there. Also, they're going to be thinning that linebacker core after just being devastated late in the year. So Dabo, he said he's going to have up to 27 players who will miss this game as a whole, Boggs. But we also know Dabo's track record in bowl games is insane.
Yeah.
And just in what was it, 15 straight years he's won a postseason game? Is that what it is?
15 straight years.
Oh
yeah, they've won at least one postseason game, it seems. So, look, I think the fact that Dabo can at least narrow down the 27 players that are gone is better than what's going on at Penn State right now, right? Yeah. Like, at least Dabo knows exactly who's in and who's out. We still have a little bit floating around. Terry Smith also intimated that maybe the starters are on a snap limit as well. So I'm just going to take Clemson and lay the 3, but this is going to be like a half unit and wait till it gets there and see what the line is on like game day. So it's not going to be my favorite game. I wish there was more on the line here, but there just isn't. So give me Clemson because of the streak and at least Dabo being able to narrow down who is going to play in this game. And whoever plays in this game, I think, stays. So, unlike Penn State. So, give me Clemson here.
You know, I kept seeing, like, the fake news stories on Facebook, like, weeks in advance before this was even released.
Not Facebook.
That Penn State was going to be in the Pinstripe Bowl. I think you and I, earlier in the season, joked that Penn State and Texas would be in the Pinstripe Bowl. And here we are. Penn State's in the Pinstripe Bowl. I want no action on it. There's nothing I can get invested with. I would love, like, the only thing that, like, leads me to thinking maybe Penn State can get up for this one is Terry Smith. He's going to be with the program next year. He knows how to get these boys up. But with missing all their star players, man, like, I can't trust Drunkenmeyer in this spot, especially if he's not going to have, you know, all of his starting wide receivers and running backs and offensive line out there. It just feels dangerous, even though, you know, at least, like, imagine if he was without those guys and Parker and Woods were on the other side. At least that's a benefit to him. So
yeah, yikes.
We also have the Fenway Bowl between the 9-3 UConn Huskies and the 6-6 Army Black Knights going off Saturday, 2:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Very, very ugly situation for UConn right now. Jim Mora, he is left for Colorado State. Of course, my boy Jason Candle's coming in from Toledo. But in the meanwhile, they could have double-digit opt-outs if wide receiver Skylar Bell, who's heading to the Senior Bowl, cannot convince his teammates to play. That is a real thing. There's a real news report out there right now. This ain't Facebook. This ain't fake news. UConn, they could be down to their quarterback 4 if backup quarterback Nick Evers does not decide to go. Army, meanwhile, they could be without their right guard again, who last played in Week 11, but they have all the other servicemen ready to go for this one. They just had a really strong game against Navy as well. And before opt-outs, the BP projections did like the Huskies by over 5 points. I'm throwing that out the window here, though. I'm already in on Army. I'm going to be trying to take them if I can get a 6.5 ticket. I'm going to alt that down a little bit, but I don't mind the 8.5 out there now. UConn was already outside the top 110 in rushing defense, Bog. So I think that plus all the opt-outs on their offense. Let's go Army, baby.
It's the easiest pick of this show. Lay the points and take the military academy.
Yes.
Nobody's opting out, right? They want to win this game. Any bowl game that a military service team gets in, they want to win that game. Yep. It's going to be cold in the end of December in this game, or early January, whenever it is. So it is going to be extremely cold at Fenway Park, and all these football games at baseball stadiums, by the way. But also your will to tackle this triple option team is going to get lower and lower the more they hit you and grind you into the dirt in this cold weather. This is the easiest take that we will have this show. Army, lay the points. If it gets anything under 13.5 for me, I'll take Army.
Okay, and a real quick reminder, you can track your bets, stay accountable, and level up by downloading the free Betting Pros app today. And with Sportsbook Sync, you can automatically track your bets across all major books in just one simple spot. Folks, you can easily monitor your bet performance by sport and bet type, including game picks, props, and of course parlays. Create custom betting systems to find winning trends and profitable opportunities. New users, you can score yourself 6 months of Betting Pros Premium for free with your first deposit and wager at any of our partners sportsbooks. Learn more at bettingpros.com/premium. And the Pop-Tarts Bowl will bring us the number 22 Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets against the number 12 BYU Cougars Saturday, 3:30 Eastern Time from Orlando, Florida. Georgia Tech. I said Golden Tide because that's a funny story, Boggs. Don't mean to derail us here in rapid fire, but our high school logo is the same as Georgia Tech's. So I see.
Oh, is that right?
It is legitimately the same one. So I see it, and maybe that's where some of my love for Georgia Tech comes from, honestly.
Okay, yeah, sure.
So I see the GT, and I just think Golden Tide, but it is Georgia Tech. And they have their starting center, Tana Alo Tupolo, who's going to be out, and their running back, Jamal Haynes, who are opting out of this one. They also have a few injuries to the defensive two deep that we're unsure if they'll be up for this one. They'll also be without their offensive coordinator, Buster Faulkner, who he is headed to Florida to bring that run game there. BYU, they should have no opt-outs in this one. Quarterback Baron Bachmeier also expected to be up after banging up his ankle in that Big 12 championship game. The BP projections right now, we have the Cougs by nearly 9 points. And Boggs, it's really hard to disagree with that. However, I ain't fading Haynes King. Not in this last run. I can't do it. No bet for me. I won't be backing him either. What say you, Scotty?
I'm on BYU here.
I knew you would be.
Well, look, the run defense has been bad for Georgia Tech the whole year, right? That's really the thing. And BYU is balanced. And if Bear Bachmeier is going to play, everybody's going to play. Kalani Sitake, another coach that's really good at inspiring these young men to get up and play in these games that kind of don't matter here. But the Pop-Tarts Bowl is one of the bigger bowls now.
It is.
Everybody wants to see what the weirdo Pop-Tart is going to be and what it looks like, and then the players eating it after the game. It's just a lot of fun. So for me, I'm going to take BYU here. BYU's had a harder strength of schedule. Georgia Tech has not played well against the run. Texas Tech is the only team. Texas Tech and then Utah, really the only teams to challenge BYU this year. This really is a game that could coin flip either way, but I'm going to just stick with Sitake and BYU to win this game. It's been a great year for them.
I said the same thing to Parker Navarro last week, and I'll say it to Haynes King today. Thank you for your service, my friend. It's been a great couple years here down in Tech. We appreciate the run. Let's go to the Arizona Bowl, which is welcoming the 7-6 Miami, Ohio RedHawks and the 8-4 Fresno State Bulldogs on Saturday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And we also have Miami opting out. They have the players that include starting wide receiver Cam Perry. He led the nation in yards per catch, over 1,000 yards. He won't play in this one. We also have defensive end Adam Trick, their best defensive player, their starting cornerback, and their best offensive lineman, right tackle Drew Terrell. Likely will be the freshman quarterback Tommy Gotskowski back under center. He was benched, though, in the middle of the MAC championship game for the vet Henry Hetson. And Fresno State, they have opting out 2 of their top defensive backs, their defensive lineman, Corey Forum, who's a stud, and they also have banged up on defense late in the season just in general at all 3 levels. So a lot of injuries for Fresno State, but not as many opt-outs as Miami, especially at impact positions. BP projections right now, like Fresno, just under a point is where we have it, but it's really hard for me to trust Miami with all the opt-outs, the question marks, everything like that going on in this one, Bog. So I think I'm just going to stay off this. I think if I were to have a lean, though, it would be Fresno.
Yeah, that exactly the same as me, man. I'm leaning also an easier travel for Fresno fans, of course.
Yeah, good point.
But also, the main point to taking Fresno here is just the issues that have been at quarterback for Miami since Daquan Finn left the program, right? They went to Heston initially, then got Kowski, and then back to Heston. It's been musical chairs at that position. I don't know who's going to start this game or really what to expect. Matt Entz is a great coach. I don't think he's going to be staying at Fresno State for long after they win a couple Mountain West titles.
Yeah.
He'll be going on to a big program, I think, fairly quickly. So I think he gets his guys up. He wants to win this game. I think Fresno wins this one.
Okay, we have the New Mexico Bowl, which could have been an absolutely awesome matchup between the number 25 North Texas Mean Green against the San Diego State Aztecs. This is on Saturday, 5:45 p.m. Eastern time as well. And, you know, this is the issue with bowl season, right? You get this type of situation where North Texas in the transfer portal, their defensive tackle, Jaden Williams, and, of course, their quarterback, Drew Messmaker. Hey, we got a spot for you up here in Happy Valley, Drew. We'd love to see you. Also, other
Not
potential.
going to Oklahoma State.
I hope not. North Texas potential opt-outs as well. We don't know for sure, but Caleb Hawkins, their talented freshman running back, their leading wide receiver, Wyatt Young, their wide receiver, 2, Miles Coleman. Neil Brown, though, did say, take this for what it's worth, everybody but Drew Messmaker, who was receiving an award at the time, attended the team meeting on Monday. So I'm still not expecting Hawkins or Young to probably be up for this one, despite that report. San Diego State, meanwhile, they have opt-outs and transfer portal that's leaving with them without their top 4 pass rushers, their top overall player and cornerback Chris Johnson, who's heading to the NFL, plus their top 2 wide receivers and quarterback Jaden Denagel are out with injury. So BP projections right now, we have North Texas by almost 10 points, but that was before the opt-outs. This is another one where I don't know how you handicap it, Boggs.
What are you saying? Is it Messmaker going to play in this game?
I don't think he's going to play. From what I've heard, he is hitting the transfer. He's not playing. If he were to play, that might be interesting. But again, we did get the report that everyone was at the team practice from Neil Brown, except Messmaker, but he was getting an award at the time. So I don't know. I
also saw that he's practicing. I don't know if that was a fake news or not. Obviously, it's hard to come by
on Facebook
news. Yeah. It was on Google, so yeah, it was whatever. But yeah, look, I think I'd take North Texas in this game either way because it's a 3-point game, and I'll lean on the side of the offense. And just most football games, right? The rules obviously favor the offense, but I don't want to mess with this game.
Yeah.
I'll say
if Messmaker is playing, I'm in.
Yes.
I'm in on that.
If Messmaker is playing, we get confirmation of that, and we're for sure. I'll lay anything up to 10 points for North Texas here. But I'm just not 100% sure he's going to play. So
I don't think the books would think so
away.
either. I think it'd be out over a field goal if he were.
I think you're correct in that.
Okay.
So, but also that might be a cowardly line because they think everybody would take North Texas here. So we'll see.
Okay. Go ahead and get ready for the Gator Bowl with the number 19 Virginia Commodores versus the 8-4 Missouri Tigers at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time in prime time on Saturday night. UVA, their confirmed opt-out, is just starting cornerback Jason Prevard, who's in the portal. Also potential opt-outs, though, quarterback Chandler Morris, running back Jamari Taylor, their defensive end Fisher Kamak, and their 2 starting safeties. Mizzou, their confirmed opt-outs right now are starting quarterback Bo Pribiola, who surprised to kind of see him hit the portal again. I thought that was a good home for him down there. Yeah, very. I mean, look, it makes sense, but I don't know. I don't know if that's the right fit for you, Bo. But maybe that's just a bitter Penn State fan saying that. Also, potential opt-outs for them. Again, no confirmation on these, so take it for what it is. They're starting 3 offensive linemen, 3 defensive linemen, and their star wide receiver Kevin Coleman. Missouri also on the injury front, they have Josiah Trotter, their linebacker, and their stud tight end, Brett Norfleet. I wrote him on some CFF streets. A little hit or miss at times, but definitely had some big performances. So BP projections right now, we have Mizzou by nearly a touchdown. What do you think on that, Boggs?
Yeah, I mean, again, let's wait to bet this game to get more accurate reports on who is in and who is out. But if Chandler Morris doesn't play, this is an easy Missouri take. We saw one game without Chandler Morris for UVA. They got smacked by Wake Forest, right? So I just think, and that was the game he went out in the middle of. So I just think that Missouri is a better team overall. I think you'll see a lot of Ahmad Hardy here. But again, let's just wait and make sure we know who is in and who is out of this game. Zollers has a little bit of experience, and I think really for Virginia, their season was over the second they lost to Duke, right? Like, I think the win came out of the sails almost like it did for Memphis. Memphis looked like a strong team until they were knocked out of the playoff and had their chances ripped away from them. Missouri's known for a little bit. They're not going to the playoff, and they're not going to be playing for anything big here. So I think they're preparing for this game well, and I would take Missouri right now. But again, let's wait. Let's see all the list of for sure opt-outs of this game before we bet it.
Who's the betting favorite to get for Beulah? Is it Virginia Tech or is it Penn State?
I think it's Vaught Tech.
I've also been hearing the rumors that he could be coming back to Happy Valley, which I would be very, very happy about.
You don't want Rocco Becht?
I'll take Bo Prabula. I think Bo Prabula is a bit more. I mean, don't get me wrong. Rocco Becht is fine. I mean, look, dude, like you're talking about a guy, you know, I've sat through season tickets with Sean Clifford at quarterback for 2 years. I mean,
you did.
I'll take whoever I can get, really. But Bo Prabula, come on home, baby. Come on home. You're a mess maker. That's what we want here. That's what we want out here. Saturday is going to come to a close with the Texas Bowl from NRG Stadium, which will feature the 7-5 LSU Tigers against the number 21 Houston Cougars, 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time. LSU, they have over 15 potential opt-outs or injured players who won't play. That includes, of course, their potential first-round pick, Mansour Delaney, their cornerback, their defensive end, Jack Pybum, and their wide receivers, Chris Hilton, Aaron Anderson, Nick Anderson, Zavanian Thomas, all going to be out of this one, as well as their quarterback, Garrett Nussmeier, has not been seen in quite some time. Houston, meanwhile, their only opt-outs that we know of confirmed is going to be their starting center, Demetrius Hunter. He left the program back all the way on December 8th, so he's no longer there. Also, potential opt-outs and injuries, their running back, Dean Connors. This guy's been a stud for them this season. Their tight end, Tanner Kazeel, who we'll certainly have a couple things to say about him when it comes to Senior Bowl time. And then Eddie Walls, their defensive end, and their defensive tackle, Khalil Lafu. BP projections right now, we have LSU by 5.2 points, so just over that 5-point mark. Boggs, I don't know how I get invested anyway, except like maybe Houston money line just because Wegman's back.
No way, not a chance. Look, this is a home game for Houston too.
That's what I'm saying.
I know a lot of people are going to be taking them. No, take the under. The under is what we take here, right? It's been a miserable pass blocking season for this offensive line for Houston. I don't care who opts out at LSU. They still have monsters behind monsters behind monsters at LSU, right? Like, so I think they're going to put a lot of pressure. You take their best target away in Tanner Koziol as well. Like, I think that Texas has lost enough on offense, and I don't even know that keeping Connor Weigman is a bonus for them. I don't think he's a very good quarterback. So
I don't either, but he could do worse.
He's experienced.
Yeah,
you're right there. So LSU has nothing to play for. They are not inspired. Van Buren sucks, right? So like, I just do not like offense in this game. I think that Houston's going to struggle to score. So is LSU because it's Van Buren and this gross offense that's kind of busted up and transfer portal crazy right now. Obviously, there's a lot going on behind the scenes at LSU, so the players are distracted as well. So I just don't like scoring here. So give me the under 41.5 right now. I hope it gets a little bit higher, up to like 42.5, and I might even alt it to that line, but I like the under here. There's just no way I would take a side either way.
Okay. On Monday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, we get the Birmingham Bowl with the 6-6 Georgia Southern Eagles. They're battling the 5-7 App State Mountaineers. Right now, the books, they got App State catching over a touchdown right now. So no Georgia Southern opt-outs, but injuries do include their running back, O.J. Arnold, who he's been really, really good for them down the stretch. Their wide receiver, Dalen Cobb, and their defensive tackle, Devin Lowe. App State, they have over 10 impact players not playing because of portal or injuries. Right now, their quarterback, A.J. Swan, is a part of that list. He lost the job late in the year to quarterback J.J. Cole, who took the starting job, but he's also not expected to play. Their starting safety, G.J. Burks, he is their leading tackler over the past 2 seasons. He's going to be out as well. Boggs, I got no feel on this one. I would think if it wasn't for the opt-outs, like if you're going to give me 7.5 with App State, I'll take it, but I won't take it without knowing who the quarterback is. And if it's a third stringer, you can miss me on that, I think.
Yeah, it's Georgia Southern here for me. We've seen this game before. It's 25-23. Georgia State won, and they didn't have these transfers that App State is going through right now. Georgia State still has J.C. French. Georgia Southern, excuse me. You're right. Georgia Southern still has QB J.C. French and Camden Brown. You're right. It was just a Freudian slip by me. I apologize, everybody. But App State, like you said, maybe down to the third or fourth QB here. This is easy Georgia Southern here. I would like it to be less than a touchdown. So let's see if it slips down to 6.5. And again, we're waiting because this game is kind of far out from where we're talking right now. But yeah, I think it's Georgia Southern. Thank you. Here for me in this game.
I only know that really well because for whatever reason, when I was in high school graduating, Boggs, Georgia Southern would send me all types of like stuff to come to their school, and I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Well, it's like you get that from in-state stuff, right? But like Georgia, I was like, why Georgia Southern? And I looked into it. I was like, oh, it looks like a great place. You look at the price of it. Ooh, out-of-state tuition.
That's why.
Thank you.
Yep. Well, dude, my buddy Xavier played for Georgia State too. He'd be so mad if I mix them up. So feel bad. Sorry, Xavier. My bad, man.
That's all right, Georgia Southern. I appreciate the paper you sent up to the house there, and you almost got me. IUP for life, baby. Boggs, let's go ahead and get out of here on best bets for the bowl games or anything you already have locked in for the CFP. What are your best bets for the week?
Army. Take Army and lay the points.
Yes.
I support the troops. I know you do as well. So we're going to support the troops here and hope they make us some money.
-6.5. That's where I want Army. That's my best bet. I'm going to wait until that comes available. And if it doesn't come available in the next day or two because they don't have any alt lines for that game, then I'm just going to jump on the 8.5. I'm going to put multiple units. Yeah.
Roll it. Yeah.
I'm ready to go,
It's Army. Army's our easiest bet here.
Yeah.
Easy one to take in the bowl.
Pitt was probably a second one for me. I really like Pitt as well this week. That they were
Pitt's not bad. I'm already invested on Texas Tech. I'll say that right now.
Okay. So. All right. Well, folks, that's going to do it for us on this episode of the Betting Pros College Football Show. We'll be back next week with our official picks and predictions for the CFP quarterfinals and the next wave of bowl games as well. Let us know down in the comments below your picks for any of the games we handicapped today. And while you're here, make sure you're smashing that like button and subscribing to the channel if you're new. For Scott Big Time Bogman, I'm Seth Woolcock. Take care, y'all.